Eurovisions Sanitized Vision of Israel. The New Yorker. This sense of national abasement, however, is often paired with a kind of well show them boosterism. This is likely when I watched Eurovision throughout my childhood, it was clear to me that the country's performance on the show was tied to its sense of national dignity. Low point counts. The months leading up to the contest were politically fraught, even for Israel. Netanyahu, but the competition seemed intent on presenting Israel as miraculously untouched by political tensions. The theme was Dare to. During the ceremony, I occasionally tensed up, concerned, in spite of myself, that some snafu would embarrass the local production. But I need not have. Several protesters had called on Madonna to boycott the event, but the singer said that she will never stop playing music to suit someone's political agenda, nor will I stop speaking out against violations of human rights, wherever in the world they may be. During the finale, by announcing a plan to change the location of the U.S. Embassy, the president angered allies and set off worldwide protests.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.